SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Award-winning customer service with customized insurance plans at affordable rates made specifically to fit your exact needs. For auto, home, or life coverage, reach out to Ben Farrell with Shelter Insurance of Corinth. We are your shield. We are your shelter.
Pike County, here comes your morning show. Dave in the morning on 93.5 FM, SuperTalk Mississippi.
So now, understand, you're not going to dictate to me what I do and what I don't do, but I'm still the mayor, Mr. Clark.
None of this meeting is recorded. None by any parties. Correct?
No, sir, mine is recorded. I'm being accused.
Any conversation.
Said I want to make it on record. I want the allegations in writing, party accused, or on recording of this harassment.
And now, here's your host, Dave Hughes.
Good morning to you on a Tuesday. How are you doing? Not going to go so far as to say beautiful day. I mean, look at it. But it could be a lot worse. And it might be a lot worse. Before the day is up, no less. We'll talk about that in a second. 70 degrees right now. And I hope you're having a wonderful day. Got a lot going on, but the big one, I think, is the fact that today your polls are open. It's officially primary day in the state of Mississippi. As usual, the majority of states had their primaries last week. Well, it feels like it anyway. So we're a week later. We're kind of off, but that's the way it works. Got Senate races, got congressional races. For the Senate race today on the ballot, that's the one everybody has. We have on the Republican side, Cindy Hyde-Smith, the incumbent from Lincoln County, from right here. And also she has a Republican challenger, Sarah Adlicka. Now, on the Democratic side, there are three candidates running for Cindy Hyde-Smith's seat. Eventually, they're running to see who's going to go against her in the general election. Scott Cologne, which you've heard us talk about on SuperTalk quite a bit when he first announced. And so, if you remember, Scott Cologne is the one that released the audio, released the ad. I use the term ad extremely loosely. Where he called and wished Cindy Hyde-Smith good night. Yeah. The concept of cringe has not yet made it into politics. You got it on the Democratic side, Scott Cologne, Albert Littell, and Priscilla Till. Coming down to the House of Representatives primaries today, not a lot to talk about. Michael Guest, the incumbent, unopposed on the Republican side. Michael Chiaradio, unopposed on the Democratic side. You have 5 people going for Benny Thompson's seat, 2 on the Republican side, 3 on the Democratic side. He's got a healthy little cadre of Democratic challengers this time around. It's good to see. 1st Congressional District, Trent Kelly, unopposed as the incumbent on the Republican side, 2 Democrats facing off against him. And in the 4th District, Mike Ezel, the incumbent, has 1 Republican challenger and 3 Democratic challengers. But everybody in the state has the Senate race. So you need to go and cast your ballot. I know. It gets old. The reason why it gets old, you do realize that a big part of the problem with people's engagement in the electoral process is that it's no longer an event. It's no longer a special thing, a big deal. There is always an election going on. And if something is impinging on your life 300 days a year, every year, it loses the aura of being, I don't want to say important, but it loses the aura of being an event, something that people want to participate in. That's a big part of our problem turnout-wise. And I'll go ahead and tell you, this is a primary election in an off year. The turnout is going to be bad today. I would be shocked if it was not bad. That's the way it always works. But let me ask you this. Is it something where you're going to let them influence your way of thinking? In this particular case, it's the old flood the zone plan. Well, they're always voting. They won't pay as much attention. And historically, over the last 20 years, the numbers have proven that to be accurate. There are a lot of different reasons. Buck the trend. I give you advice of that same caliber all the time. I never really use that phrase. As a general rule, if it looks like there's something that you're expected to do, in this particular case, well, don't worry about it. Don't worry your pretty little head about it. We'll go up there and we'll take care of things for you. Yeah, you might want to buck that trend. Show up, cast your ballot. Before you know it, if you don't go cast that ballot, we wind up with Scott Colomb calling everyone to wish them, a good evening. Or Albert Littell, or Priscilla Till, or Sarah Adlicka. We got 5 people on the ballot for Senate today, along with the incumbent Cindy Hyde-Smith. Get out. Doesn't matter who you cast your vote for. I don't care. I'm not asking. It's not important. What is important is that you go to the polls. We have a polling place right here in the Workforce Training Center on the campus of Southwest Community College. It's been a polling place for quite a while now. There is some turnout, yeah. It's not what it should be. So make your plans, get in the car, go to the polls, cast your ballot. It's that simple. And then we get to move forward from there. But I do think, in all seriousness, sooner or later, you and I have talked about it before, we're going to have to figure out some way to do this where we don't have a continuous election. We've got the primaries. We've got the election in November this year. We have the city of Macomb elections going on. The candidates are out. The billboards are up on Delaware. Wow. That will come to an end in June. Then next year, we've got the state elections. Then the year after, you get the idea. It never stops. There is no end to it. So people just kind of tend to start tuning it out after a while. That's not good. Tuning it out is the last thing anyone should even have an inkling of doing when it comes to elections. They are hugely important. But that's just where we're at. I would like to say, and this has been discussed before, we really ought to look at moving the city of Macomb elections to be in line with something else. If we move them back 1 year, it's in line with state elections. That accomplishes several things. It brings more attention to the fact that the election's going on. There's a lot of people don't even know that there is an election this year, right now, in Macomb, because it's an off year. Because people want to have an off year, but we can't have it. So we would get in. Now there is the argument, well, it would get lost in the shuffle with everything. No, we have our elections in June. That's the final, actual, honest-to-goodness election. Primaries in May, election in June in the city of Macomb. Nobody is going to get that mixed up with the elections in November. So that argument doesn't really hold a lot of water for me. Just move them back a year. Well, I don't think we need to do that. You know who's telling you that? The people the current system has worked for so far. They don't want it to change. It's going great. They want no change. Next, you're going to tell me that we should have term limits across the board. How dare you? That is so un-American. Well, if you're not careful, if you don't manage things properly, if you don't do your part and go to the polls and make sure that the right people get in the right places, things happen you're not happy with, and then you're going to sit around and grumble and gripe about it. I mean, that's an American pastime. Nothing wrong with that. But griping about it doesn't change anything. So first step, no matter how tired you are, no matter how over the concept of going to vote you are, go vote. Every time the polls open, go vote. I don't care what it's for. They're electing the auxiliary backup dog catcher. Not even the backup dog catcher. It's the sub that fills in when the backup dog catcher can't make it that day. I don't care what it is. Go cast your ballots. You've got the opportunity today. Why wouldn't you go and take advantage of something that we get to do in America that not everyone gets to do? Looking at you, Iran. Perfect example. There are plenty of other countries it's the same way. Did they hold a vote for their new supreme leader? No. Their specially anointed group of 88 people that they gathered together out of the bunkers long enough to cast a ballot picked the new leader. And I would just like to say, as another example, boy, that process is working well over there, isn't it? So maybe take advantage of an opportunity you have that a lot of people don't around the planet. Go cast a ballot, have a say in who's going to make your laws. You can do that today. Polls are open until 7 o'clock. They do not close for lunch. It's like an all-day buffet of ballots. Go to your polling place, cast your ballot. It's a good warm-up for casting your ballot 2 or 3 more times before the end of the year. We continue on this Tuesday morning right after this. Keep it here.
Every now and then, we remind all of you loving, awesome, hardworking husbands that you have a premium it's time to renew. No, it's not life insurance, car insurance, or health insurance. It's way more important than those. I'm Kristen. Gentlemen, it's time to renew those long-term wife insurance policies. When you surprise her with a gift from Selmans, you remind her that no matter what lies ahead, you and she will get through it together. Your gift tells her this long-term wife insurance policy is for life. Renew your long-term wife insurance policy right here at Selmans. We're in it for the long term with you.
weekday mornings at 6 after 9 on 93.5 FM, or you can catch up anytime by going to SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. Dave in the morning at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. Catch up and catch on.
You are innocence personified, and I will drag you down and sell you out. Run away. I am cold like December snow. I have carved out this soul made of stone, and I will drag you down and sell you out.
Welcome back, Super Talk, Mississippi, Pike County, 93.5. Dave Hughes on a Tuesday morning. Now, before we take a look at the agenda for tonight's meeting, a couple of interesting things on the old agenda. We'll get to that in a minute, don't worry. First, I want to make sure we go over this. Mississippi Emergency Management put out a notice about a half hour ago, right before we came on the air, about the weather situation for tomorrow. And for us, specifically here in southwest Mississippi, tomorrow night, late tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night. On a scale of 1 to 5 on the severe weather threat meter, we're at a 2. Most of the state is at a 2. They're saying damaging winds, hail, and tornadoes all possible, so forth, so on. You know, the usual. Just another day in the spring in southwest Mississippi, right? Well, we're going to have to keep an eye on it again. We had some over the weekend. So far, we have been lucky. So far, the worst of the bad weather has mostly gone to the north of Pike County or to the south of Pike County. Oh, we've gotten our rain. Don't get me wrong, but you do realize that the other day over the weekend when the bad storm line passed through the area, the Baton Rouge area, specifically south of Baton Rouge, got over 11 inches, right at a solid even foot of rain in a 12-hour period. When it's raining at a rate of roughly an inch per hour, yeah. I mean, it wasn't just there. North of us in the state of Mississippi, we had spots, 6, 7, 8 inches in one day's time. That's a lot of rain. Got the chance for that kind of thing again tomorrow. The official timeline, they had the state divided into sections on the MEMA map. From noon till 9 p.m., they say it's going to be impacting basically the Delta. The lines are drawn at a sharp diagonal, like a 45-degree angle across the state, starting just north of Vicksburg and going all the way up to the northeast corner of the state. From there, north, that's noon to 9 p.m. For our section, which starts there, it's a lot of territory, and comes all the way down basically right to Macomb. Right, just the southeastern corner of Pike County is excluded from that zone where the line is drawn. The timing is supposed to be 4 p.m. to midnight. And the rest of the state, south of there, down on the coast, 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. That's what we're looking at timing-wise. That's why I said tomorrow night, because it's a large area, and the timing is from 4 p.m. until midnight. And if it's storming in Yazoo City at 4, 5 o'clock, it's going to be an hour or two before it gets here. So tomorrow night would be my best guess on that. Now, I do want to address something else associated with this. I've heard a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people, a lot of comments being made about, man, good, it's going to knock this pollen down. Short term, yeah, that's true. Wets it down. If you park your car in the yard, it gets rinsed off. Things are good. But it's the after that we have to be concerned with, because pollen is through the roof from El Paso all the way over to the Florida Panhandle, including pretty much all of Mississippi. Very high tree pollen count. The temperatures are warm. But here's the thing. We get all of this rain, which we've gotten, which is great. When's the last time anyone looked at you and talked about a burn ban? Yeah, the rain is great. We needed the rain. It makes the trees hot to trot. It's the problem. They get a lot of water, which means they're going to put out even more pollen. Meteorologist Scott Pollen put out a thing talking about it, put out a chart. And one of the things in there says, expect an expanding pollen count. You know why? All the rain. So this is a great example if you're saying, oh, thank goodness it's going to knock some of the pollen down. Well, you're going to get a day's relief in exchange for it being much worse in the weeks after. Not really sure that's something we should be hoping for. But I just want to let you know, if you're having a runny nose like old Dave, if you got the sneezies, that's not going to stop anytime soon. In some ways, and very specifically for allergies, it would be a lot better if we had a drought. We do not have a drought. But that's the only way it would be better if we had a drought. So all in all, if you look at everything as a whole, good. Keep the rain coming. Just don't get too excited and go, oh, it's knocking all the pollen down. Yeah, and then what's it going to bring next week? More pollen than we had before it started. So keep that in mind. Also, well, I get to that later. I can't wait. I can't wait any longer. It's time for the agenda for the City of Macomb City Board meeting coming up tonight at 5:30 on the second floor of City Hall in downtown Macomb. Bring your own snacks. Bedding will not be provided, so you need your own travel pillow to keep your neck nice and secure and comfy. I say that, it might not be that long. Pigs might fly. It also might not be that long. The consent docket, let's go down through here. They're approving minutes from a special call and a regular meeting. Bringing in the municipal revenues and the license fees. And then the claims docket for February 25th through March 10th. This is the claims docket. This is the bills that have been presented for payment between February 25th and today. $2,272,401.64. As always, to do my civic duty, I will be glad to chip in the 64 cents. $2.2 million. Now, that is aside from the money that is included in the regular agenda. This is just the regular bills. When you pay your sky-high water bill every month, that's just a regular bill. It's just regular stuff that has to be paid. $2.2 million. We have been comfortably over $1 million since the year started, basically. And we're getting very close. With today's at 2.2 million, I think it might be time to go back to keeping a running total of how much money we're spending in Macomb. I'll give you a non-shocking hint. It's a bunch. But, I mean, you pay all that for a reason. They take all that tax money and spend it for a reason. Look at how good the roads are. Moving on to the main agenda. Very first thing, as it should be, appointing Akeisha K. Simmons as the city clerk for the city of Macomb. We got a new one. We're reloading the chamber with a fresh one. Last one did not make it a year. It has been rare that we've had someone that made it a year in that position in the city of Macomb. which kind of says a lot. I'll put it like that. And then we move on. We have some more invoices that have to be approved. $69,967 for Twin L Construction. Paying that one off at least. That should be the last payment on that one. Invoice from Cox Architecture for $2,105. Invoice from Greenbrier for street repair at Cherry and Maddox, right there at the intersection, $56,700. Invoice from Neil Schaefer, part of the citywide milling and overlaying, $17,011. Invoice from Dickerson and Bowen, I'm skipping item 7, just to keep all the invoices lumped together. Invoice from Dickerson and Bowen for the water improvement and overlay project, $105,200. Another invoice from Dickerson and Bowen for the same thing, the overlay project, $183,845. The housing of prisoners for December with the Pike County Sheriff's Department, $21,490, a bargain. Trust me. Authorizing a payment to BDO Financial Consulting for $32,571. And quite a few bond payments, $2,695, $2,590, $2,485, $2,397, $2,292. Notice how they were going down. Well, that's okay. We made it up. The last one, all of these on the General Obligation Bond Series 2019. The last one, number 17, $128,205. Invoice from EMC Insurance, $32,428. So a lot more money getting paid out than just the claims docket, assuming all of that gets approved. And most of the time it would. Consider approving an amendment to the City of Macomb Ordinance Article 3, excavations, and approve resolution and publication of said amending the ordinance. About digging. It's about running cable is what it is, but it's about digging when you get right down to it. Now, let's go back and let's pick up some of the non-give us our money items. Oh, wait, no, there is one more give us our money. The Women's Foundation of Mississippi consider approving a sponsorship in the amount of $800 for 8 individual tickets. I wonder if anybody at City Hall has been asked by any elected officials to tell them, we're paying $800 for the sponsorship. We're going to get 8 tickets. What's the normal cost of those tickets? How much do those tickets run? We're getting 8 of them for $800. Could you work that up and tell me how much? You laugh. That's the level we feel like we're at most of the time with the City of Macomb. Consider approving and authorizing a 1-year extension to Inframark, starting May 31st, running through May 31st, 2027. That's going to be up. There's been some debate about that. We'll see how that discussion goes tonight. Then we get to the interesting parts. Well, approving and authorizing a part-time position in the city clerk division to assist with the financials for 2022 through 2025. Wait, I thought we were making great progress. I thought things were going well. I thought we were just blazing right ahead, full speed, getting all the financials in order. We keep getting told this Pollyanna-ish nonsense over and over and over about how we're chugging right along. We're doing good stuff. We're going to get there. It's going to be fine. And we're looking to hire a part-time employee to come in and help with the financials starting in 2022, which on the calendar was 4 years ago. through 2025. Remember, you can't have an audit if your financials aren't done. So we still have made no progress on this. None. And I think I know why. Here's some of the things current. This doesn't go back to 2022. This goes back to July of last year. Consider receiving a check for overpayment in the amount of $653,975 from Dickerson and Bowen from the Macomb Use Tax Water Improvement and Overlay Project. That was payment number 4 on that. I want to make sure that was payment number 4. The two that I mentioned earlier that were $105,000 and $183,000 for the Macomb Use Tax Water Improvement and Overlay Project payment application for Dickerson and Bowen are application for payments number 12 and number 13. But apparently we just discovered an overpayment on payment number 4 from July. Oh, it gets better. Get comfortable. We got a couple of these to go through. Consider acknowledging a duplicate payment for Greenbrier Construction in the amount of $228,900. Ratify the demand letter and direct the city clerk to document in the audit file. The next item, consider acknowledging a duplicate payment to Greenbrier Construction in the amount of $231,045. Ratify the demand letter and direct the city clerk to document in the audit file. Item number 25. This is a beaut. In case you're wondering about the true state of the accounting processes with the city of Macomb government, we're getting a clinic put on tonight. Consider approving and ratifying the correction of an inadvertent transfer of funds between accounts. So, from one city account to another city account. Listen to this. Intended transfer amount, $33,351.04. Actual amount transferred, $333,351.04. So went from 33 to 333. Added a 3 in the hundreds column and transferred the money. It's a mess, is what I'm trying to say. It remains a mess. And anyone that wants to sell you the story that, oh, but we're getting it straightened out. Well, yeah. As far as we know, we thought it was straight before. How'd that turn out? What I'm saying is the trust is gone. Yeah, you're making some good moves here to correct some really dumb mistakes. How many more are there? I don't know. We're looking for a part-timer to help us work on 2022's financials. This was just for 2025. You dig further back, how bad does it get? How many more like this are we going to see? The irateness could have been avoided if we had been honest about this up front instead of skipping into the meeting room and talking about how great things are going and we've got this under control and we're doing well and everything is fantastic and oh my goodness, look at that sunshine, breathe that fresh air, it's a beautiful day in Macomb, Mississippi. And then we had all this kind of stuff going on. Yes, I know that's just a typo. Somebody is going to say, Dave, that inadvertent transfer was just a typo. If you accidentally transfer $300,000 from one account to another that you didn't mean to transfer, would you notice? Would you catch it? Yes, mistakes happen. Human beings are going to make mistakes. It's wired in. But I would think you would go, wait a minute, where'd my money go? because instead of transferring $33,000, they accidentally transferred $333,000. Well, we did catch it. Yeah, just like eventually, after several years, you caught that a bunch of people weren't paying a water bill. After several years, that the money from water bills being paid was going into the wrong account. We have a history now. There is a track record of this kind of nonsense going on and it being caught a couple of years later. This is why people keep saying, both around that board table during meetings and other people just in general in the community, this is why everyone keeps saying we have no idea what the financials of the city of Macomb look like. None. And anyone who tells you differently is selling something. It's just that simple. We don't have to go any further back than tonight. That's not even back. That's in a few hours. And we have, let's see, a check for overpayment, a duplicate payment, 2 duplicate payments to Greenbrier, and an inadvertent transfer. So let's see, 300, that's 560,000. That's 800,000. And then you got the 653,000 overpayment from Dickerson and Bowen. So that's $1.4 million tonight. So this problem goes, well, we haven't had this problem since a few hours from now. I'm not really sure there's any room to brag about anything. I know there's not. That's almost, not quite, but it's almost enough to pay the claims docket. Have a few other things. The social media communications policy during election periods. I would assume we're going to officially name that the Common Sense Act. Appointing Carolyn F. James and Casey Hoffman to the Board of Trustees for the hospital. Appointing India Harper for the Macomb School Board. And then executive session for litigation and prospective litigation. What? Legal action? Lawsuits? I don't see how that's possible considering how straight and in order we have our house in the city of Macomb. I mean, 1.4 million in oops, we did that wrong, that they're going to try to correct tonight. It's the pebbles rolling down the side of the mountain as the rumbling builds and the people living in the village get more and more nervous. The avalanche is coming. It's kind of here, to be honest. We continue on this Tuesday morning on SuperTalk, Mississippi, Pike County, right after this.
Every now and then, we remind all of you loving, awesome, hardworking husbands that you have a premium it's time to renew. No, it's not life insurance, car insurance, or health insurance. It's way more important than those. I'm Kristen. Gentlemen, it's time to renew those long-term wife insurance policies. When you surprise her with a gift from Selmans, you remind her that no matter what lies ahead, you and she will get through it together. Your gift tells her this long-term wife insurance policy is for life. Renew your long-term wife insurance policy right here at Selmans. We're in it for the long term with you.
Don't miss Dave in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crave. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave Hughes here. Remember, every weekday morning at 9:06, it's Dave in the Morning, where we solve the problems of the world, or at least complain about them really loudly and sarcastically. And if you miss out, you can catch up with the podcast version of Dave in the Morning at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
I'm not sick, but I'm not well, and I'm so hot, 'cause I'm in town. Been around the world and found that only stupid people are breeding. The cretins cloning and feeding, and I don't even own a TV.
Welcome back. Super Talk, Mississippi, Pike County, 93.5. Well, shaking, rattling, and rolling. That has been Louisiana, and it continues. I had quite a few yesterday. Additional aftershocks, one of them pretty big. Just before 5 o'clock yesterday morning, 4.4 in the same basic area, right, just south of Shreveport. Might as well go ahead and say in the Shreveport area. It's right down next to a little town called Coushatta. They had, let's see, 10 different little earthquakes yesterday. 4.4 was the biggest one. That's pretty decent. Still below that 4.9, as happens with aftershocks. Had a couple of 4.0s, had some in the 3s, had a one or two down in the 2s on the Richter scale. Everyone continuing to scream, "Oh my goodness, it's fracking, it's fracking." We had a geologist. I know you've been on Facebook, so you're an expert. We talked to a guy who has spent his entire life dealing with geology. I asked him Friday on mornings, what does fracking have to do with this? He said, not really much. They frack down to a depth of about 3 or 4 kilometers. These earthquakes are happening down at 11 kilometers. The two are not connected like you think they are. That's an easy thing to scream about, and heaven knows if there's one thing we have left as a pastime in America, it's uninformed yelling. Well, it just makes sense, Dave. No, it doesn't. Not according to the geologists, not according to the people who actually know their stuff. I know your cousin Brunhilde on Facebook is convinced and makes a really good argument. I would like to remind you, Brunhilde struggled in physical science in 9th grade. You remember that. So just going to keep reminding you, yeah, they're having a little earthquake swarm over there right now. Earthquakes happen. And the fun part is earthquakes have happened for millions of years on planet Earth, long before fracking existed. Well, it's making it worse. Well, as a counterpoint, at this point, this is what I'm down to. As a counterpoint to fracking's making it worse, I would just like to say, shut up. Are you this desperate for something to be upset about? We got nothing else going on that you should focus your attention on. This, again, is part of the harm of social media, if you ask me, because it spreads it around when somebody has an opinion that is not backed up by, the facts. And then before you know it, your uncle is sitting at the Sunday dinner table and starts in on it with you. Chill out. I think it's probably good advice across the board. Do you realize, have you stopped to think about how much time you spend upset and aggravated? Have you given that any thought? Well, no, I'm not that upset and aggravated in real life, Dave. It's just, stuff I'm posting on social media. Really? So you're pretending. So you're making it worse as a hobby. Well, I don't spend all day thinking about this stuff. Then why are you so determined that everybody else should? and I'm not even talking about just this topic at this point. It's across the board, nonstop, all day, every day. A never-ending deluge of things you're supposed to be upset about. We've talked about that. You know how it works. Earthquakes. We never had an earthquake anywhere on planet Earth until we started fracking. Just remember that. You got to get your fears all organized. Now, we have a roundabout update. On Friday, doing the other side.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm.
Somebody, I don't care that it's not a full roundabout. It's got that little tail that comes out and keeps the lane separate. That's not going to matter. You and I know that. Somebody is going to be quoted as having said, "Yeehaw!" as they go through.
Making their way the only way they know how.
Well, southbound has been up and running for a week or two on the roundabout. The notice has been put out Friday at 6 p.m. They're going to shut down the northbound entrance and exit to do work on the east roundabout. 98 traffic's going to keep going slowly at times, I have no doubt. But then, by the end of the weekend, the east roundabout will be fully functional and the existing entrance and exit loops will be permanently closed at the end of the weekend. Both roundabouts will be fully functional.
I'm a good old boy. You know my mama loved me.
You know, there is a word that has gone out of fashion that we need to bring back, I think. I haven't heard anyone use it because everything is all super serial now. Everything's got to be serious at all times. We can't make fun of stupid things. We must be outraged. No, we have to make fun of them. That's the only way you get change. I'm sorry, you can scream all you want. You can hold a little protest. It'll make you feel good. Get you out of the house, into the pollen. No, the way things change is by making fun of them. They want you mad, so instead get sarcastic. It's the Gen X way. But there is a word we need to bring back for projects like this that I think applies, I think is relevant, and we don't hear it enough in today's society. What a boondoggle. I mean, there's no other way to describe it if you ask me. The stated purpose of doing all of this, of spending tens of millions of dollars and messing up traffic for months and months and months, years at this point, was to be safer because we had had several near accidents. So the good news is we're going to improve things now, and we're going to have less than no accidents. Somebody's going to drive through there with a beat-up fender, and it's going to be magically repaired because we're improving on no accidents. So magical negative accidents is the only place we have to go. Either that or it was, what? A boondoggle.
If you cry out for more, if you reached out for me,
Cram that one sideways into your vocabulary because boondoggle is an applicable word kind of across the board right now. Not just this, everything. Final thoughts right after this.
let me take a step towards you. Let me feel you in my hands. Let me cross this line and show you where it leads. There's a darkness down inside me that I know we'll both enjoy, and it's screaming from within to set it free.
Every now and then, we remind all of you loving, awesome, hardworking husbands that you have a premium it's time to renew. No, it's not life insurance, car insurance, or health insurance. It's way more important than those. I'm Kristen. Gentlemen, it's time to renew those long-term wife insurance policies. When you surprise her with a gift from Selmans, you remind her that no matter what lies ahead, you and she will get through it together. Your gift tells her this long-term wife insurance policy is for life. Renew your long-term wife insurance policy right here at Selmans. We're in it for the long term with you.
Don't miss Dave in the morning, even when you miss it the first time. You can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crave. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page.
Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing
Quick
time.
note, our very own ray of SuperTalk Sunshine, Rebecca Turner, has another notch in her belt in weightlifting. As you know, she went to the Worlds over in Scotland, I believe it was, last year. Well, she went to the Red Brick Rumble, got there, and she was the only person there that was going to compete in the lightweight category. So Rebecca said, you know what? Okay, fine. I'll compete against the heavyweights. I'm going to step outside of my class. I didn't prepare for this. This was not in my plans. I was going to compete in the lightweight division, but I'm the only one here, so what's the point? So she stepped up and competed against the heavyweights, up a weight class from where she was. Won an event and finished second overall. Couple of things to learn from this. Number one, sometimes the only thing limiting you is your belief in what you can do, what you can accomplish. Stop listening to yourself. You're bad at advice. The other important lesson here, no matter what you do, don't mess with Rebecca. That's the big one. Have a wonderful day. We'll do this again tomorrow morning at 9:06. Should be good tonight at the meeting. We'll talk about it tomorrow at 9:06. My friend, I'll see you then.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.